Build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hosfords.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
Good morning, It's just about 9 minutes after the hour of 8. Welcome to today's Hump Day edition of Island Tea. It's Wednesday, the 28th May, 2025. To the Federation of St. Kitts-Nevis, good morning. To the regional and international diaspora, good morning. Just to remind you of our numbers if you need to reach us, if you want to join in on a topic or you have a pressing issue you want to bring to the fore. Our numbers in the UK, it's 0333 440065. In the US, 1718-285-6984 or 1305-921-4619 or our local number 466-0989. Just to remind you, we're being simulcast on TVC channel 40, Facebook, as well as YouTube. And this morning we do not have Quint, however, we have DJ Flame. So good morning and welcome to the program, kind sir. How are you doing this morning?
Pleasant good morning. I'm fine. My voice haven't fully waken up yet, so I will chipping in now and again when it's really up and running.
Okay, well, I hope that voice kicks in soon. Just to start this morning, I saw two headlines. I'm just going to read the headlines because I'm sure you heard the news already. And if you want to read these articles, you can find them on winnfm.com. And for those of you listening by radio, I always forget to mention we're on 98.9. Charlestown Nevis named first PAHO age-friendly in the Eastern Caribbean. So congratulations to our friends over there in Nevis on achieving such a prestigious accolade. So I'm just going to touch a little bit of it. It says, this significant recognition highlights Nevis' commitment to fostering a community where all generations can prosper. So this is great. When one island wins, the other island wins as well, as we are federal. So congratulations to our sister island of Nevis on receiving your accolade. And in other news locally, again, I see the Extradition Bill 2025 passed, a historic reform for St. Kitts and Nevis justice. And in other news, I got this news from travelbiz.com. And you know we were speaking about the ETA last week, but as of Monday, I learned that it is in place. So it says, this move makes it the first country to adopt a digital pre-entry authorization for visa-free visitors and redefine the entry experience, blending enhanced border security with unparalleled traveler convenience. It goes on to say the ETA reflects St. Kitts' digital vision. It says the new system announced during the May 15th National Assembly sitting is part of a broader national effort to modernize border security and streamline the travel experience. According to Prime Minister Terence Drew, the ETA system aligns with the country's vision of a safer, smarter, and more connected nation. The electronic travel authorization, that's the ETA, is a digital approval that visa-exempt travelers must obtain before flying to St. Kitts and Nevis. It simplifies border procedures, helps manage entry flows, and strengthens pre-arrival checks. Unlike a visa, which applies to those who require formal entry permits, the ETA is a pre-screening measure for travelers who are otherwise visa-free. It says, who need to apply for an ETA? If you are a citizen of a visa-exempt country planning to visit St. Kitts and Nevis for a specified period, you will need an ETA. This applies to a wide range of nationalities with varying permitted stay durations. It says eligible countries by state durations, 90 days, USA, UK, Canada, India, Australia, EU nations, Japan, South Korea, UAE, that's the United Arab Emirates, and many others. 30 days, Belarus, China, Indonesia, Macau, 27 days, Cuba. So to get the other nations and their stay durations, the full list is available at www.kntravelform.kn. Who's exempt from the ETA requirement? Not every traveler needs to pay or apply. The following categories are exempt from the ETA service charge: citizens and residents of St. Kitts and Nevis, nationals of CARICOM and OECS member states, children under 2 years old, transit passengers, diplomats on official duty, on-duty airline and or vessel crew, and military personnel. However, exempt travelers must still complete the Immigration and Customs ED form via the St. Kitts and Nevis e-border app or official website. It says how to apply for St. Kitts and Nevis ETA. Applying for St. Kitts and Nevis ETA is designed to be quick and user-friendly with the system available in multiple languages. And here's how. Visit the official portal. You complete the online form, upload documents, pay the fee, and you receive your approval. So it says the ETA fees and validity. The ETA offers flexibility while upholding stringent security measures. Validity: your ETA will be valid for 90 days or until your passport expires, whichever comes first. You can submit your application up to 90 days before your plan. Travel date. Fees: the introductory rate, $8.50 US until August 31st, 2025. And then the standard rate is $17 US starting September the 1st, 2025. So from June 2nd, St. Kitts and Nevis is launching a facial biometric corridor at Robert L. Bracho International Airport. Travelers using the ETA app can enjoy contactless entry through facial recognition, reducing wait times and improving security. So I'm going to stop there. As I said, this article, you can find it on travelobiz.com. So it's travelobiz.com. So you can read it in its entirety. So Flames, anything to add? What do you think about this new system?
It's a good system, and it's a secure more secure system. There was a fee in it.
Yeah.
How much it was?
$8.50 to start, and then it doubles to $17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good initiative.
But that's not for us, thank God. We don't have to pay.
No, what I'm saying, I believe once you're coming into St. Kitts and Nevis, I mean, most countries, like for example, England is expanding theirs as well. So it's a way of generating revenue for the country. So that's a good initiative. Yeah.
A good one indeed. I don't know how much you watch of telly or social media, but I don't know if you saw President Macron and his wife.
No, I haven't come across that one. Yeah.
I don't know. When his jet opened,
yeah,
all we saw was her shoving him in the face.
Oh, yeah, I saw a clipping, I think, on CNN, and I think the report said it was a playful.
Yeah, but that didn't look
that looks so playful. Yeah.
Well,
see, I'm waking up now.
Yeah. So when he realized he like,
yes.
I said we are all humans, and it's just funny how he comes out of the camera view, because you never know who is watching. But I had a chance. I'm not bashing him or anything, but I had a chance to read, and she's 25 years his senior.
Oh. Yeah,
and apparently, when he was in school, I guess that's where it all started. He was 15. I think she was. Let me make sure I have my facts right. And then when his parents found out about it, because they thought it was one of her daughters that he was in like with, they sent him away to boarding school. Yeah, so she was 39 and he was 15.
Oh, wow.
What do you see on somebody? It reminds me of the Mary Kay Letourneau story in the U.S.
You see, it when it comes to age gap in relationship, it's also classism as well, based on who you are and how wealthy you are. The rules don't apply. Our society won't frowns up on you if you are wealthy and you're 60 and you're there with an 18-year-old. I mean,
Well,
you don't.
society gave him a little slack for it, because she's whole 70. What?
No,
She's
no. How long ago that been happening? That's what I'm saying. Let it was I or
And he's-
you, you would have seen the difference. You know.
But you think they get a slap on their wrist because of who they are?
Yeah. I mean, if you will live in a world where we have to face reality based on who you are, based on your status, based on your wealth. You get some of the time the rules don't apply to you, or no matter what you stay winning.
Yeah.
You know, so we're living in a real world, and we just have to wake up and realize that when it's a dog luck and puss luck, it's not the same.
Oh boy! But it's funny, right? She was already married for 3 years when he was born in 1977, right? And she has 3 kids, and I think they may be around his age, because he's 47, she's now 72. And listen, I'm not knocking it. As she said, she doesn't like when people call her cougar, and people have ventured to say that she is a guy. So I think she had a suit out there for that.
Oh, wow.
You know, she's older, she's slender, she's slimmer, and yeah. But after she shoved him and he had his hand coming down the stairs, playful or not, she didn't hold on to it like she normally do.
No, yeah.
So
Like
from a woman's point of view, she
Yeah.
was upset about something, and
Yes.
she just decided she's not going to keep her hand to herself, and it showed at the wrong time. And you know, everybody speculating, oh, does that mean maybe she'd have beat him up at home? And you know
what? That opened the whole can of worm now. One thing, you know, even if you see it right now on social media with your own eyes,
yeah.
before 5 minutes after, you're gonna see the same thing with a whole different writing, a whole different, and even when you could see it for yourself, you know, the story or the headline has nothing to do. So
Yeah.
we live in a world where that, I mean, even when it's real, people out there try to do everything to make sure it just seems like it's not real or it's real. So we have to be very careful out there.
Yeah.
And I always say something. I realize when it comes to relationship and age gap, when it's the man, I mean, I'm not being a sexist nowhere, but I'm just talking about the data and the facts. When it's a man, the woman them cry, oh, he's this, he's rubbing the cradle or this or that. When it's a woman now, it's a whole different
Well, she has a
story.
name, Cougar.
Yeah, I know.
But Mistress Macron is saying she does not like that name.
I think cougar is used around. Used too loosely nowadays.
But
Yeah.
25 years?
Yeah.
That's your
Yeah.
son, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cougar is, I mean, our definition of cougar is when you're a certain age and you hit someone or a certain age and you move on. If you stay with that person or you're married to that person,
cougarship is
you
lost.
should.
Okay.
You're not.
I
Yeah.
guess that's why she doesn't like that
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, but hey, as you tell, something like that for me now, even though I see it in the news, I was like, oh, that make news based on who they are. But at the end of the day, that's not news for me. That's everybody go through a little hard talk in the relationship. The phone is lighting up.
Alrighty. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T. Oh, we lost that caller. Okay, that caller can feel free to call back. While we wait for that caller to call, I see the Trump administration orders U.S. embassies to stop student visa interviews. And this story comes from The Guardian. We have the caller?
No.
Okay.
Don't tell me.
And it says the Trump administration has ordered U.S. embassies worldwide to immediately stop scheduling visa interviews for foreign students as it prepares to implement comprehensive social media screening for all international applicants. Why are they blocking your freedom to express yourself or your...
Call is on the line. Yeah,
All
we'll
right,
go back
caller,
to
go
that.
ahead. You are live on LT.
Yes, good morning to everybody. Greetings once more in Jesus' name, the only Savior of sinners from the sins and from hell, and the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now,
Good morning.
first
Good
of all,
morning.
Yes, good morning to everybody. First of all, I would like to say that I'm calling for the fire truck to come in Middle Island to blow out a drain by the water tank or the reservoir here in Middle Island, because the drain is clogged up a lot and mosquitoes are breeding in the water and it need flushing out. Even the drains that lead into the big drain that takes the water down to the best side, even those side drains are clogged up. Well, at least the one on the west, yeah, at least the one on the west is clogged up. And yes, so it all need, the whole system need clearing out.
Okay.
So calling on the fire truck that normally comes, that does come to do that.
Okay, thanks for that update.
Yes.
And the next way to, stop those
Thank you.
things from blacking is dispose of your garbage the right way.
That's what.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we are appealing to the public works or the fire department. I don't know how that works, how they go to the location to clear those blockage, but also we have a responsibility as people in society to ensure that we dispose of our garbage properly. So when we have every rainfall, the guts and the drainage do what they're supposed to do, and then we ain't gonna complain and say the road is washing away or that is washing away or here is flooding out.
There's a water's coming up plenty.
Yeah, back to I don't even want to even touch on that topic,
Right. The
but
Trump?
it's because it's chaos.
But I don't understand.
It is what baffles me is watching a system that was built based on rules and law and justice for all and the land of opportunity. I mean, what is
Freedom
this?
of speech, freedom of
Yes,
expression.
and
all
what
of a
is
sudden.
this now? You want to dictate based on where you're from, based on what you say. And to me, especially when it comes to anti-Semitism, it's only about the Jews.
Yeah.
It's like no other nation, no other ethnic thing have the right to, if it's somebody else and people is talking negative about them or discriminate against them or spreading anti-Semitism against them, you don't see the interjection from the government. You don't see the interjection from the news, mainstream media as well. So I just show my hand up and just leave it for the spiritual world to take care of it because it's chaos. But student visa.
Yeah.
I mean, America is built on immigrants. That no matter
Everybody says that.
no matter how you go in history, you look, you turn, and the people who are running America now, they're not even native of the land.
Immigrants too.
You understand?
Immigrants too.
And it's like they forget what they say.
Yeah, we forget.
If you don't learn from history, it's gonna
repeat
repeat
itself.
itself, and it's happening right in front of her. I never ever thought I would see America in a situation like this.
Yeah, but you see, they weren't ready for a woman to rule. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Oh, we lost that one. I didn't saw that one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, caller, feel free to call back. It says a Tuesday State Department cable instruct consular sections to pause adding any additional student or exchange visitor FMN.
Call.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Cortensia. Good morning to
Flames.
Flame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, this is the little white Flame.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Cortensia, you just read out something about Donald Trump and the blocking of on the non-processing of visa.
Student visa.
Student visa. Student.
visa.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a very, very hot potato in the sense that that Harvard University has filed some litigation,
Yeah.
pertaining to that because the Trump administration, what they're saying is that these foreign students, they broad brush the foreign students who say that they are disrupting other students' lives on campus. And they single out like the Jewish students that attend the Harvard.
The Jewish ones or the Palestinian ones? Because I think the Jewish ones.
Any
I
other religion against the Jewish, it's an issue.
Yeah, because I think the Jewish ones are good.
One thing I don't really like to speak on this type of show because I'm coming with the facts. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Once it's against a Jewish student or a Jewish group, it's a big issue, no matter what. If it's Palestine, they don't really care. If it's Muslim or Arab, they don't really care about that.
Sure.
It's all about the Jews. So don't include the Jews in that because they are protecting them.
Yeah, they're protecting those ones.
No. Yeah, that's the point I'm saying.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Protecting them by saying, using that alibi to say that, or we're gonna stop them because they are attacking Jewish students, like anti-Semitic rhetoric and so forth on campus.
Oh, okay. I thought
But
you.
not only that content here, I will go further to say that I think it's a leader from Zambia, the president from Zambia. He is making a case for the reimbursement of the African students who have paid enormous sums of money and cannot enter.
Mm. That's
So that president from Zambia, he has made the case, and I think he's putting it to the African Union to really get support on that behalf, because it's not just Zambian students, it's students right across. Because we know Nigerian students, Nigeria has the biggest group percentage per se who are enrolled in universities outside of Nigeria, especially the U.S. There are more Nigerian doctors in the U.S. than that what there are in Nigeria, and Ghanaian doctors also. So it's not that the students go to school and they go back home. They are doing human services to the United States society, to the well-being of the United States, because there are a lot of doctors that are doing services elsewhere as apart from home. As we know, we always talk about the brain drain of the Caribbean without, our professionals, those who would go and would not come back, and they would say, because, well, hey, probably the wages are better, they get better wages out there, so.
But I see this thing is for the EU and the UK. The monies to refund? I see EU and UK. I'm not seeing the US in this.
And in the story what I raised a while ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're not seeing the US.
No, I'm only seeing the UK and the EU to refund. He says the president of Zambia has called on the UK and the EU to refund each Zambians money for each visa application they reject. Meeting, he was met with wide applause from Zambians and the rest of the continent. Thousands of Africans get rejected for visas annually, and they never get their money back. And they say UK study visa can cost as much as USD 700, which is
$40 million.
40,000 of their monies.
Oh.
Yeah, not 40, 400,000. That's a lot.
Okay.
Wow, 400,000. I missed a zero. I apologize.
Okay. All right. I apologize for including the U.S. Well, irrespective of you did not see the U.S. there, I want to think that the U.S. policy is the same as the UK and the EU, but yeah.
I can look further, and I can always let you know, because if I'm wrong, I'll apologize as well. But yeah, I'll check and let you know.
Yeah, me too. I will, there's so much that the U.S. is doing, eh? We don't need to put more on the plate, but yes. Probably was an oversight on my behalf, but it's similar in the U.S. because no doubt students, African students, they are applying to the U.S. as well. Anyway, thanks for listening.
You're welcome. Thanks for your contribution.
All right, we're going to take a short commercial break, and when we get back, we're going to be talking with Social Security, give us an update of what's taking place down there. So you can stay with us right here and winnfm 98.9 on your FM dial.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Unlock the secrets to a healthier you. Join Dr. Natalie Osborne every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on winnfm 98.9 for Weekly Dose. During this 30-minute health discussion, we aim to educate and empower our listeners on the prevention of diseases, early diagnosis, and timely intervention. Don't miss out on this informative health talk where we teach you to live your best life. Weekly Dose, Tuesdays on winnfm 98.9.
Strong, grow together. Let Oxford's building and even centers lead the way. From tools to materials, we've got it every day. Oxford's building and even centers, a name you can trust. For where they dream protect, don't go and build with us. Dream with us, grow with us, build with us today. Oxford's is the partner that helps you pave the way.
Let's stop child sexual abuse. The age of consent is 16, yet our 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, and 10-year-olds are becoming victims of sexual abuse and exploitation, which is being forced into sexual activity before they are old enough to decide. This causes mental, emotional, and physical harm to our children. Parents, it is your responsibility to protect and to educate your children. Develop a relationship of trust with your child. If they trust you, they will tell you. Child sexual abuse cannot be our norm. We must work together to correct this. Help us prevent, help us protect, help us prosecute. A message by the Department of Probation and Child Protection Services. Contact us at 467-1311 or 662-6833 for more information.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
And we are back on Island Tea, and with me in studio we have Miss Camila Lawrence from Social Security, and she let us know how things are going over there.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Welcome back to Because You Deserve a Future with Social Security.
Yeah.
Today we have an open dialogue. Whatever the conversation leads us into, that's what we're going to do. We are almost at the halfway mark. Sunday is June 1st. So compliance remains a focus for Social Security. We're seeing more and more employers who are delinquent, more and more employers who are falling behind. Still,
wow.
There's grace, but there also has to be action. So we're encouraging employers to come in and have a conversation with us about compliance. We're also seeing when person make claims because there is no record of their employment, claims are staying long because the compliance factor. So everything is a ripple effect. So for employees, workers, you have the responsibility to check on your contribution status. I say that over and over.
Yeah.
Just like how you don't watch people's WhatsApp status.
Watch your status.
Watch your Social Security status.
Yeah.
Get into understanding, hey, how come it's June and me seeing no payments for 2025? That's a red flag. Red flags are to be respected. It's not a carnival. So when you see a red flag, it encourages you to ask more questions and so forth. So we'll do a little bit of talking about those, and we're going to welcome the listeners to call in and ask their very hard questions. You could direct me in ways that I can go and look for information as well. And we also are conscious about how we do this, because we're in a very small society, and for want of a better word, there's some repercussions to your actions. So everything has to be done in a tactful way. If you'd like to reach us off air, you can call Social Security at 465-2535. We're also available on WhatsApp, 662-8479, 668-2545, 669-2545. We'll be happy to take your questions. and provide you the answers or do whatever we need to do to ensure that your benefits are secured. Also, you can reach us on social media, so you can drop a message in Instagram and on Facebook, and we'll be sure to answer as well. But compliance remains a critical function of Social Security. If we do not collect contributions, we cannot pay benefits. And for the whole of 2024, we spoke about reform and how soon it's going to come. And if we fail to make changes, what will happen? So if we fail to collect people's contributions, it means we'll be in a position where we can't pay benefits.
Yeah, because nothing's there.
Nothing is there. So we all have a responsibility to police the Social Security Fund to secure it. If it's one of the institutions that remains solid and help to keep our economy afloat, is the Social Security Board. We have assets and reserves about 1.7 billion. It sounds like a lot, but with all we have to do, it may not just be sufficient. And so we pay out maybe last year or the year before that 130 million in benefits, and 80% of that, or a little more than 80%, is pensions. Because on the flip side, we're living longer, as much as we say, oh, because it's sensational. We won't hear how many birthdays happen, but you'll hear about the deaths because we're sensational people. And so every month we have at least 60 new age applicants. That's astounding. I do not believe we have 60 new births in a month.
Not at all.
No.
Births are slow down.
The birth rates are slowing down. Our death rate is slowing down because people are healthy conscious, and I'm sure you realize it amongst your elders. They're not as frail as they once were. Right? So we have to be our brother's keeper to secure our Social Security Fund. With that being said, life certificates. Once you receive a pension, it is indefinite. You'll get it for the rest of your life. But it's also responsible for us to check to make sure that you're alive and should be in receipt of your pension. So from time to time, you have to submit your life certificates. For the nationals who reside on St. Kitts, once a year, you are posted out a life certificate. You're to complete it, follow the instructions. It's quite simple. You have to get someone responsible in your community, being a teacher, a nurse, a doctor, a pastor, a Social Security officer with a certain rank may sign to say, yes, I did see this person, or you can visit our office and we complete the form, and that way you would be sure to continue to receive your pensions. If you reside overseas, there's a little bit of a difference, and you are required to submit 2 notarized life certificates biannually. So let's say your birthday is in February, you will submit one in February and 6 months after your birth date. So in 6 months intervals. So we'd have 2 life certificates for you, and you follow that trend, and so that you can be assured that your pensions will get to your accounts or get to you by the means that you have selected. Also, school is almost out. It's almost summer again. And that also means that our students who are in receipt of survivors' benefits, particularly if you are now 16, at 16 the survivors' pension for children ceases unless that child continues into school up to age 18.
Okay.
So in the summer months, once you're age 16, the benefit will cease. And if you return to school by September, those benefits for July to September will be reinstated, and if you continue into school, you will get your survivor's pension.
So if they go on to 6th form?
If they go on to 6th form, once they're not 18, it stops at 18.
Oh, it stops at 18.
Right?
Okay.
So once you go on to school, you can continue to receive those benefits, because at 16, you can also enter the workforce and begin to pay your contributions as well. So I wanted to point out all those little things that are upcoming. July also is a time, that's when we observe the self-employed. We have realized a significant spike in the self-employed sector, primarily as a result of our survivalism, COVID and so on. We tapped into our skills that God has blessed us with, so we see more and more businesses for the self-employed. We want to take this time to encourage them to pay your self-employed contributions. I know for you, Social Security is not a sexy thing. It's not something that it's immediate or will provide you some immediate benefit unless you find yourself sick. We don't think, when we're young, we don't think about getting sick. We don't think about situations upcoming. But I was there the other day and I was saying, we're here. Like, when did this happen? You know? So life happens. Your situation changes, and in a flash, your life can change.
Indeed.
And certain, we've seen some of the accidents that are happening, freak incidents, and you know, these are life-altering situations. If you do not have the support of Social Security, you're left without nothing. I'd like to take this time to particularly speak to the braiders. You're out there braiding here. At some point, your hands can't braid like you did before. Or let's talk about even the DJs. You know, you're making your money. You're out. You're about.
I have some money for Social Security.
Okay.
I'll come to you with it when I can.
No, okay, I'm here.
I know.
So talk to me
I have
after.
some money for Social Security.
Why
so.
did you
But-
implicate yourself?
No, it's not. It's not about I'm self-employed. I might not pay it on time, but I do pay it when I get a certain amount based on how I
And
get.
that's the flexibility
Yeah.
that is offered to the self-employed. Like, they could actually pay up the whole year at the beginning of the year. They could pay in quarters and stuff like that, because we understand self-employed work is very seasonal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And there's a period when you make lots, and then there's a period you're struggling to continue on. But if you pay ahead, you have that cushion as well. Also, for the self-employed, they have the ability to change their categories. So in July and January, they can change from paying one tier to a next tier. So let's say you started out and you were paying $40 a week, and the season was so good, you said, man, my earnings is more than $40. Let me do something to help my future self. You can up it to pay $50 a week. If you at 40 and it's too hard and you say, boy, going for the next 6 months I can't do this, I can go down to 30. So there's that flexibility for the self-employed. And you only need currently 10 years to secure yourself a pension with Social Security. However, that 10 years is just a step in the door at 30% of what your pension could be, right? And you have all the way up to 60% to earn a maximum pension. So over the time, you can build your career, build your Social Security contributions to reflect your lifestyle, because you don't want, when you're 62, your Social Security is $500 a month, while your lifestyle was a $3,900 pension sort of salary. So that's important. We need to think about future. Sometimes we're just so caught up in the now, and we don't even realize it. So that is why I am here to remind you about the importance of Social Security. If there are any questions?
So I want to ask a question. I know you have a lot of companies out there. Do you have a digital system? Like, when I say digital system, one of the way you can track or make employees, pay what they're supposed to pay is come up with API payroll system where every company have to end up using that once they hiring people and stuff like that, so you can have real-time data, real-time information. If someone get fired from that job, you know that person get fired from that job. That Social Security that attached to that company, it's null and void now. They move on to a next job. So that is a thing, because a lot of over-the-top payment is why a lot of companies don't pay Social Security, because they just slide them an envelope, and that's that.
Very good. I'm glad.
We're taking a call as well.
Okay.
Hold on, yeah. Pleasant good morning.
Hi, blessed good morning.
Good morning.
I hope I'm calling the right department. This topic is about the Social Security.
Yes.
Okay. Good morning to all.
Good morning.
I'm in the US, and I am self-employed. Would it be possible? I made contribution when I was living there, and I left to come abroad. The fact is, I'm working, self-employed, not on the books, so to speak. would it be possible if I could make contribution to my Social Security account?
Okay.
Because,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, that is the question. I have another one to follow up to, but let you answer one at a time.
Okay.
They will be short.
Okay. Now, the answer for that is yes and no. Yes, you can make something that we call voluntary contributions into Social Security Fund once you exit the workforce. But there is a time stipulation. You must make this application for voluntary contributions within 3 months of exiting the workforce. So you would continue to pay the 5% that you paid to Social Security, but there is a very strict timeline of 3 months after you exit the workforce. So in that case, yes, but in your case, if you're talking about being able to make the application, no, it would not be possible. That's your first question answered. Are you still there? No, he gone? Okay. On to your question, very good question about if we do have,
We have a call.
integrated system.
Hello?
Caller, go
Hello?
ahead.
Hello?
Yes, I am the caller who just called, but the line was dropped. I don't know what took place. I didn't hear your answer in respect to overseas residents,
Okay.
citizens of Federation of
repeat,
Saints
I'll
can make your
repeat.
contribution.
Okay. So hold the line
Hello?
so you can ask your
Yeah,
second
hold the line so
question.
you can ask the second question and hear what she says as well.
Okay.
Okay.
In your case,
Ask the second question. You
No,
need me
she-
to ask the second question?
No, she's gonna answer the question you wanted
Okay.
answered,
Okay,
and
go on,
then you
carry
can say your second question.
Carry on.
okay.
Carry on. Carry on.
Now, there's something called voluntary contributions that a person who exits the workforce can apply and qualify for. However, there is a timeline within which that person must apply. It's 3 months after the time of exiting the workforce. So, in that case, yes, someone would be eligible to contribute, and their contribution would be the 5% that they were paying before they exited the workforce. So that answers your question.
So time is the factor. So I left St. Kitts before such a time. And I asked that question when I was there so that I could have made that kind of establishment, getting an account of the protocol. And I was told no. So now I'm asking and you are saying yes. So misinformation has been transferred. But because I lost my timeline when I showed up. But let me move to the next question.
I'm listening.
It's not that I will be mixing U.S. Protocol of Social Security affairs. The point I'm touching. Do you think when a child is born, they should be given a Social Security number immediately, as long as there is and they are alive, or they should wait until they enter the workforce? Let me hear your answer because I'm going to rebut it if it's contrary to my belief.
Okay.
You may carry on. I yield to you.
The law prescribes that a Social Security number is issued upon the age of 16. No, a Social Security number is issued upon when someone enters the workforce.
Well, I beg to defer to that, and that there should be a reform of that.
Okay.
It has proven a Social Security number can go very far, not just to mark you of making contribution, but it gives you an identity. Okay. Now, Social Security in the States, they don't issue an ID with a photo. They issue you a plain card with all your information. St. Kitts, they give you a Social Security number with an a picturized identification. And for me, once above, to have the true density record population, the true count of the Federation, you should be marked by a Social Security number than just you hear someone dead and they got a death certificate. I mean, it's too much work and you got to crunch, and compile the work. I believe, and it should be, and it shall be, a reform to make that amendment to assign a social security number when a child is born. And that is backward business if St. have that status quo still moving forward. Give a social security number to those who don't have it, whether you're working or working not. What about when you're going to school? It's a good record for school. The system has to update to be more advanced. And until someone moves the proper measure to make that happen, the status quo will remain the same. We have a lot of reforming to do in St. Kitts and Nevis. So that should be upgraded, no longer the past. Thank you. That's my concern.
Thank you.
And if no one willing to do that because it doesn't make sense to them, I'm pretty sure I have the masses who will agree with me, and I am one who's going to try and make that change. Should I get that chance? There is a lot of plan and due diligence for the people. These are signs of the times, and we have to get up to date. We need a government that will look into all those situations. Okay? And I'm willing to do that. And I'm making my sacrifice by uttering my utterance. So who can do it now, do it now. Don't wait until I win my seat, moving forward to make such a push. I would like it to be done now. And all those who are living, who don't have a social security number, let them go in and make itself known. I need a social security number, especially those who are in school.
All right, thank you for your call. We appreciate your contribution. Of course, Social Security is undertaking a reform agenda, and one of the things that were mentioned in the deliberations also focused on the parameters of the Social Security number, the Social Security card. Thank you.
Well, I hope they consider my view, my contribution. It is vital and it's very important. Thank you.
Thank you also. Okay, Flames, you were asking about an integrated system or some system where we know that a person has exited the workforce or moved on to another employer. We are not quite there yet, but we have a program called the C3 Wizard, which has some of that capability, where an employer uploads his information and it enters into our database immediately, right? For now, we still have the requisite that you present the forms, but we are working two of them together so that we can move our systems along. We recognize that there is need for some innovative or technological advancements as how we do our business with Social Security. It certainly will help the compliance, especially with the self-employed. They're not going to leave what they're doing to come down. You're breathing here. You're not going to leave what you're doing to come down to Social Security to pay. But there are other capabilities in the meanwhile. We have online banking with Republic and National, and also there is, as I mentioned, the C3 Wizard and stuff like that, so that you can input your data and follow it up with a payment via online or via check. So we're working the systems to upgrade our technologies so that it could be as seamless as when you go on Amazon.
For the braider that has appointment after appointment after appointment,
Correct.
is there an officer that goes and help that braider fill out the form, collect the money for them, issue them a receipt so they don't have to come in?
There are some legal ramifications to that as well, in terms of collecting funds and so forth. We do help as far as possible the inspectors. There's also a collector who may assist in that regard, but we try to make the process as seamless as possible. There is need for the reform of the laws, as been mentioned, a lot of things that will help the procedural work, but they must align with what is legal. So that is one of the challenges that we have. And of course, I mean, self-employed work is 24 hours in some cases. You could have a midnight grading appointment and so on. So it's really sometimes impossible to come in by a certain time. However, though, there's a grace. So contributions that are due in May are not payable until June.
Okay.
So there's that grace period to catch up. But we're trying to work on how best we can up the IT at Social Security to facilitate not only the self-employed, but to make business with us easier.
Okay.
Already we are out of time.
Yeah, I know. Look at that. Time
Just
fly fast when you're informing the folk.
Just like that. So until next time, I want to encourage employers to pay their contributions in full and on time. And when there's a challenge, please come in and let's have a conversation as to how we can work it out. We understand life is difficult, and so we're not here with a big stick, but we really want to get people on board to recognize if you don't pay, there is a long-term effect, not just on your ability to pay now with fines and penalties, but you have your employee who is home sick and can't get any benefits because we're running down an employer to present information. There's also challenges of under-reporting. You have 10 employees, but you're only recording for 3. Let's say 3, you know, or there's wrong wage.
What if they didn't want to report the 7 because they're just working without a work permit and it's free labor for them?
That's a challenge. That's a challenge, but by law, all workers, whether you have by law, all workers, whether you have a permit or not, must be covered by Social Security, right? So there are synergies across different agencies that must align in order to have a seamless process. So with reformation, all these things are being considered.
Okay.
Until next time, everyone, have a blessed day and be good, be safe. Next time, until Social Security meets you again, and Camila Lawrence.
Alrighty. Thank you for coming in and educating the masses. We appreciate that.
You're most welcome.
We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Found the sound 98.9
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the doorway or any exit. Stairs might broke up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
This message is sponsored by the Australian Government, AusAid, and produced by NEMA in collaboration with WinFM.
Here are your Horsewords Value Mart IGA special.
Running May 1st to May 14th.
Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Post Great Grain cereals, just $18.99. Essential Everyday Cream Cheeses, just $7.99 each. Stone Ridge Premium Ice Cream, $17.99. Terra Chips, just $15.99. Nabisco Rich Chips and Crisp Thins, $17.99. Essential Everyday Canned Dog Food is just $8.69. And now, our very low weekly
value deals. Essential Everyday Croutons, $6.99. Nature Valley Granola Bars, $12.99. Juicy Juice, 100% juice, $13.99. Extra Liquid Laundry Detergent, $12.99. Soft Soap Liquid Hand Soap, $6.99. Suave Deodorant, $8.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart, tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Building supplies, electrical supplies, furniture appliances, carpets and tiles. It's the company where you can get it all. All at TDC, Home and Building Depot. From lawn and garden, the TVs and stereos. All at TDC, Home and Building Depot. Come on down, get what you're looking for. It's all at TDC, Home and Building Depot.
Get ready to stretch your way into the ultimate festival experience. The Sickest Music Festival is calling prizes. Spend $25 or more on any scratch tickets to win a season pass and a night stay at Park Hyatt, a season pass and a night stay at St. Kitts Marriott Resort, and a season pass and a White Sands ticket. That's right, spend $25 or more on any scratch tickets to win. Available at all Caribbean lottery retailers island-wide. You must be 21 and over to play.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
And we are back on Island Tea. And do we have him as yet? Alrighty. So we will continue along the veins of what we were speaking about earlier. We are due to have the manager of the lottery online soon to speak about their promotions, and I'll give you a little teaser before we continue. So the manager of Caribbean Lottery, Mr. Chad Kelly, he will be speaking about what you can win when you spend $25 or more on any scratch ticket. So the prizes include 1 season pass and a night stay at Park Hyatt, 1 season pass and a night stay at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort, and 1 season pass and a White Sands ticket. So you have to be in it, as we always say, to win it. So as we anticipate him joining us this morning via phone, just a reminder, I know we had the ad before, but just a reminder of what you should expect when you buy any scratch ticket. Flames, you're smiling. You're going to buy a scratch ticket?
My shares of bad luck and luck when it comes to those things. You know, but I mean, I do it now just to kill time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, I used to have an addiction when it comes to gambling and trying to win money. So I try to stay far from that now.
Okay,
I'm
right.
control now.
Oh, that's
you
good.
know?
That's good that you have it under control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a caller on the line. Pleasant good morning. Seem to lost that
boy.
one.
Okay, caller, feel free to call back.
So I think we were talking about the U.S. visa pass for student visa pass, yeah.
And I'm pulling it up now. You know, when you want something, it's right there, but I have a million windows open. Okay, there we go. So as we continue on, it says the directive, first reported by Politico and now confirmed by The Guardian, could severely delay visa processing and hurt university, many of which Donald Trump accuses of having far-left ideologies that rely heavily on foreign students. We have a caller?
Not yet.
Okay, for revenue. The department is conducting a review of existing operations and processes for screening and vetting of students and exchange visitor visa applicants. The cable reads, official plans to issue guidance on expanded social media vetting for all such applicants. The freeze is a further escalation from current screening measures, which have primarily targeted students who participated in pro-Palestinian campus protests. Since March, consular officers have been required to conduct mandatory social media reviews looking for evidence of support for terrorist activity or a terrorist organization.
We have a call.
Okay, caller, go ahead.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm wondering what exactly is behind this visa. What do you call it? Suspension, waiver, well, not waiver, but
student visa.
I can't see them continuing it forever. But at the same, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but at the same time, one have to wonder if there isn't some other sinister reasoning behind it.
No, you are talking. No, you are talking.
Yeah, this anti-Semitism thing, I think, is just an excuse. It's a fig leaf, so to speak.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if, well, it seems targeted at Harvard.
Yeah.
At Harvard, yeah.
Big time.
Well,
so this is the next way, to me.
Or maybe it's because Harvard is the only one that has actually pushed back.
Yeah.
The other major schools seem to be reaching some kind of accommodation with the administration, it seems. But it's also interesting that you don't hear him going after the Caltechs and the MIT and those other schools that are really, which involves a lot of technology and research into technology and innovations in technology. Okay, so he don't mind the humanities in Harvard. The thing is, he's painting everybody. He's using a real broad brush in trying to get at who he really wants. Because if you say all foreign students, that even includes some of the United States allies, which don't really make sense. I don't know. I mean, if you're saying, for instance, that we want information on Chinese students or Iranian students, something like that, I think people would understand it more, because those are either enemies or competitors of the United States. But this broad brush is hard to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at some point, you have to realize that it's going to be detrimental to the U.S. In the long run.
I believe a lot of us we don't want to drink the coffee as it is. We have to accept the fact that Donald Trump is going to do whatever he wants to do, because the checks and balances of the United States, let it be clear to him that whatever he does in his capacity as president, he cannot be legally or criminally charged for it. That is what they have done. So that's why he don't care whether he disrupt everybody or somebody, the allies. He don't care, because there's not going to be no repercussion for his activities. Whether it's illegal, whether it's unconstitutional, it doesn't matter, because the Supreme Court made them know that this man is a king. Student visa loan, is $44 billion per year for housing, living expense.
Right.
It trigger into the U.S. economy, So it's like the guy don't care. I mean, everybody know what tariff is, and people still trying to sugarcoat it and go around it. Tariff is a tax that put on imported goods from a next country. The country to country do not charge each other tax. Every country have their own tariff level. St. Kitts is 45 when it comes to car, 25% when it comes to food stuff. But we have to look at it for what it is, call it what it is, and stop getting to our feeling and emotion. Donald Trump is a king, and whatever he does ain't matter. No, but
no, but
it is.
A king is king forever. Eh?
Yeah, that's it. That is the only thing.
Exactly.
That is the only thing going to stop Donald Trump after the 4 years. And you see, there was cooking up. You see, there was cooking up something about. You see, there was cooking. You see, there was cooking up. You see, there was cooking up something that he's gonna run for a third term.
He can't.
You know,
he can't. He
can't.
Cannot.
Did any one of us ever expect that America would be in a predicament like this?
Yes, he told us that's
not him, not with him. I'm just saying the mighty America. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, with him, yeah. I expected that.
Well, the thing is, though, you don't know that they're in a predicament yet. Because the impact of his policies have not really trickled down as yet. Okay, I think what's going to be crucial is the midterm elections. How America is going to be when the midterm elections come around. Because if it's in a good place, he's going to have a mandate to continue what he's doing. If it's in a bad place, I suspect that the American electorate would do something about it. But it's probably a good thing for other nations, including us, because I suspect what's going to happen is that they are going to very slowly. They can't do it suddenly, because that would evoke the wrath of the United States, and nobody want to cross the United States right now. But they are going to wean themselves off of dependency of the United States. Canada has already said clearly that they plan to do that, and I suspect Europe is going to do the same thing. The other countries, smaller countries, it might take longer for us to come around, because we can't right now. We can't even dare think of not having our tourism. We're going to say, how are we going to eat? We can't dare to think that the CBI is suddenly pulled out from under our feet for the same reason. Okay, so we, as smaller countries generally, are more vulnerable, and basically we're going to have to wait until some new world order emerges. But I'm betting that over the years, we're going to have the United States. The U.S. dollar is not going to be the main currency in the world. Other trading links are going to start up, and so it might be a blessing in disguise, even in terms of our university, because people are going to say, well, why go to the hassle of starting university in the States when somebody could just come and close the door just like that in midstream?
Okay, let me interject for 2 seconds, and after this we have to wrap, because we have the Ministry of Agriculture from the Department of Agriculture here, and we're also going to push back Chad interview for 9:45. We have to look at the world for what it is. If anyhow or any day comes that America seems like it's going to lose, the trade, because them is the central of trade. The U.S. countries, the U.S. currency is what we use for trade. Just remember, there's going to be a World War III. They're not going to allow that to happen. Huh? If you listen in the news, like China did what it's supposed to do. Any country or any nation want to move forward and boost the economy, you have to build things. You have to create things. That's it. Tourism, the CBI, after a while, all of these things is going to fade out. People still going to travel. But any country or any nation that is building things, creating things, come up with new innovative ideas, they are going to be the driving force of the driving force for the economy. You have to build things.
I don't understand how you stretch that to a world war. How you stretch?
I don't, because the problem with us, we'll always looking things are just on the surface. When you came on earlier, you said, there's more to this than what Donald Trump is doing. And I'm trying to say to you, Donald Trump is going to do what he got to do. If he have to burn down the White House to prove a point to everybody, which he did on January 6th, a couple of years back, he will do it. We have to stop trying to sugarcoat things and speak things.
Nobody going to win in a world war.
No, but it doesn't matter. It's either America win or nobody win. Every time you go on the news a year and about China, this China, that China, all China did was build things, create things. If you look at the development of China compared to anywhere else in the world, they are leading by far because they're building, they're creating things. And if a next country is going to say, Senkis is doing so great, so let we do something economical wise or government wise to tackle Senkis regime or Senkis government because we're doing good. It shouldn't be. If a country is getting to that country to say, hey, you are doing good. What you're doing to do so good. Not try to topple, not try to stifle the entire world. And that is what Donald Trump is doing.
No. I understand that he's trying to maintain
Flames, remember we got
U.S. leadership, right?
Yes.
But you're saying.
But
that
we're gonna.
that he's prepared to go to World War, and I don't think he will go that far.
Yeah.
But so we can get to the segment.
So we're gonna continue this conversation
Right.
another day.
Okay.
So we have an interview to go ahead. All right. Thanks for your call and for your input as well.
Thank you. Okay. And with us in studio, we have... Oh, okay. We have... You're not hearing? We can use anyone. No?
Testing.
With us, Mr. Flanders. Can you hear me now?
I can hear through, well, naturally headset.
Oh, okay. All right, so we're having a tad bit of difficulties. We're gonna sort that out. Yeah. Okay. All right. So with technology comes problems sometimes, but thank you for your patience. And with us we have Mr. Flanders. Good morning and welcome back in studio as we continue now with Farm Report.
All right, good morning. Thank you very much for having me and having
pleasure.
the representation of the consortium here this morning. So we're going to just jump into what we're looking at today. And so I'm going to attempt to do it in two folds. First, I want to look at food security, the definition, and then I want to look at some of the ways that we are failing in living up to what it really means. Right, so I'm going to start with the definition of food security, because I think that that word is just thrown around randomly. It's a buzzword. Right? It's a buzzword in a sense. Right?
Exactly.
It brings, I guess, applause and that kind of thing. But the words have meaning, and so food security exists when all people at all times have physical and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets their dietary needs and the food preferences for an active and healthy life. That is the definition of food security. So let's break down some of it so that we can understand a little deeper. So it exists when all people, right? So they're not saying the rich, those with all the money, or anything like that. They're saying every single one and every income bracket, every economic level. Once you have access to food at all times, and they say physical and economic. So we are saying that you must be able to actually put hands on the food. And you must be able to afford the food. That's where the economic part comes in. You must be able to afford the food. And they're saying that safe and nutritious food. So I know a lot of people might think things like ramen and those things, they mean food, right? They mean food. Once there's the nutritional value, it is not food, right? Exactly. You know, something we grow up, everybody call everything tea, cocoa tea. But, you know, tea is a plant and you get tea from the plant, right? But, so it must be nutritious and it enables you to meet your dietary, your calories, everything on a daily basis. So that is what food security is all about. And so the governments of the day, 2020, when COVID was at this peak, they decided to come together and realize that we can be importing $9 billion worth of food every year. Right? That was the average for CARICOM. $9 billion US dollars worth of food imported every year.
So this is not just St. Kitts-Nevis, this is...
This is the region. Okay. They came in and said, look here, too much food coming in from overseas. They consider anybody outside of the trading bloc as overseas imports. 9 billion. And so they came together and they decided, okay, we have to put something in place. And that was the genesis of the 25 by 25 agenda. Now, like I said, it's 2020. And so, in all fairness, the previous government, they didn't show up for that, right? Because sometimes when I was in agriculture and I'm reading and I'm seeing the document for 25 by 25, and I see data sets, St. Kitts, N-A, not available, 0, nothing. So they dropped the ball on that, right? So it's a government thing. And then the new administration came through, and it came in with a lot of bluster and everything. You know, we're going to be the best in the region, and we're going to do this. Not realizing we're 2 years late, right? Because we started in 2023, I think they came in. They came in 2022, and then the program launched in 2023. And so they had all kind of bluster and stuff like that, not realizing that the whole initiative was a spirit. It's in spirit, right? You want to be able to slow down and be deliberate and try to achieve our food security needs. And just recently, I read an article from, what was the journal, Nature Food Journal, and it said that CARICOM as a block, they are only self-sufficient in 2 areas. Fruits and vegetables are not none of the 2. It was nuts and I think staple starches. And you know, saying is that was more Dominica doing their ground provision and that kind of stuff. They say only Guyana is the only one in the region that can really sustain themselves. And you see that Guyana throw their full foot when they get the new oil money. You see that they just start spending it, man. So they bought in coconut, this, poultry, they might went all out for the agricultural sector. So you could see why they would be
sustainable.
Yes, because they have the land and now they have the backing of the monies to get that done. And so you realize that we are still in dire straits. And last week, week before last, when I was here, I read out some numbers. And so I have some additional numbers here. So I mentioned 2023 versus 2024 import figures. And I gave the tomato, where in 2023 it was 600,000, 2024 it was 900,000. Peppers, in 2023, 1.2 million, we're talking about dollar value. 1.2 million, in 2024, 1.7 million. Carrots, 2023, 800,000, 2024, 900,000. Banana, in 2023, 1.2 million, 2024, 1.3 million. Watermelon. Now, this is a little shining spot here. Watermelon, 2023, 200,000, 2024, 177,000. So we had a little dip in watermelon. So kudos to the watermelon producers out there.
Yeah.
Broccoli, 1.2 in 2023, 1.4 in 2024. So you see right there that with all that we looking at, food security, we are dropping the ball again. We are failing. And then I went on the Ministry of Agriculture's site, and I pulled down some of the things that they contributed to the 25 by 25 agenda. They are saying 510 persons signed an MOU, 566 received inputs, 25,000 inputs were given out. 25,000 inputs were. This was February 2024. So you're telling me, with all of these inputs and money being spent, we're still going up in imports? We are still not achieving what we need to achieve? So what is the point of all that all the monies that are being spent? And then when you want to analyze it further, and we're looking at why there might have been a failure. Now, let me just say this. 25 by 25, like I said before, it should have been an initiative that is just in the spirit of bringing down imports. Not hard and fast and say 25 by 2025, we clean up with 25% drop. That's not what it was. Because you realize that there are millennium goals and those kind of things. 2020, then they move to 2030, that kind of
50.
thing. Because it's just in the spirit of it, they understand that things happen, and so let's start working towards it. Like I said, when you want to exercise, just start moving. Don't think about it, just start moving. Your first 2 steps, just start moving, right? So it's just get in the idea of making something sustainable so that we can get it done eventually. Right? Not this whole rat race that nobody asks for and the braggadocious thing. One of the problems with the 25 by 25 agenda is that it became a political football. It was politicized. And so that is one of the reasons why there was such a failure with this thing. Because even, I'm looking at production numbers, production is up for many a commodity. But
Here in the Federation?
Here in the Federation,
Okay.
but imports are also up. So that just shows you that the thing is, right, the way the production is measured, it's kind of iffy. I'll give it, like, for example, an extension officer will go to a farm, right, and see, okay, you plant 2 rows of pepper, okay, cool, write down that, do the estimates, 2 rows of pepper should yield X amount, and that's it. They don't have the resources all the time to go back and say, okay, how much actually made it to the market? How much actually went in the hands of people? So for all, as soon as they turn off, a monkey gonna come through, rules up everything. But your data don't saying production gone up. Or your production is this. Not going back to see if there's actual production. And that is one of the reasons why the data from there is so, you can't really use it in certain, like, you can't really use it because it's not.
Iffy.
Yes, it's a little too iffy, right? Even Department of Statistics will tell you that, they need to be able to collect data a little bit better because these are estimates.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, you can't say if somebody comes to thief all this stuff, like if a tree fall in a forest and somebody can you hear it? Like if you say you produce and get reach the market, did you really produce? It's a kind of iffy thing. And so you can't even really take that data to heart because the way it is collected is kind of messy. And so the point of this is that for something so important, it needed to have precision, be deliberate about it. If you want us to decrease our imports, you must put in the effort. When I look at the budget, in 2024, for the recurring expenditure, agriculture was just, 2% of the recurring expenditure. For the capital, agriculture was 4% of the entire budget. So maybe there's a correlation between how much GDP you attribute as a sector to how much they give you. So they're saying, agriculture is just 1% GDP, so or less. So you ain't getting a lot of money. But if you're serious about it, you have to invest. And if you invest in the sector, then it would grow. But if you feel as though, well, nothing doing there, so therefore less going in the budget, because you see the numbers, 2%, 4%. And then if you, so people always say that you should judge somebody by what they do, not always what they say. Right? So they've talk about food security. Look in the budget. You don't see no line item that said 25 by 25 agenda. None. But look in the 2005 budget. You see a project, $5.5 million right in the budget, Tabasco project. You see that. You never cite for the 25 by 25 agenda. So are you serious about what you are saying? And so one of the major reasons why it would have failed in its previous iteration, is that what the consultant always asks for, a voice at the table. Now, in some of, I've been to some training coach training sessions, and they would tell you, when you have this player who think they know it all and this and that, and they telling you, the coach, what to do, you say, okay, do it your way. Do it your way. When they fail, now we say, you see what I tell you? Now, time to try my way. So we're saying to the government, because the reason why I would say the government, because they have become the sole purveyors of agriculture, as I stated recently. They are the biggest, almost the only player in agriculture in St. Kitts. They're the biggest. It's like a monopoly. Right? And that's why you have to keep talking to them. So you have tried your way. You did not listen to the farmers when they spoke to you. From the time they launched the 25 by 25 agenda, farmers said, no, that's not going to work like that. The consortium had different conversations after the fact, not to develop it. No farmers are really involved in developing the 25 by 25 agenda. And so, how do you expect it to succeed if you don't have the main stakeholders as part of it? There was no actual plan. It was just, as I said, talk, and it sounds good. You get applause from it. Even the Prime Minister had it as part of their platform, right? And so you realize that if you listen to the farmers, the consortium, among other farmers, you might not have been in this position. Because I told you from day one, production is not the problem. We have no market. We have no access to certain things. Give us a voice. Let us come in and help you to develop something that can be beneficial for everybody as a country. And so you see, they failed to do this. So I'm saying no. You tried it your way. We're not on the road we need to be. Now you can reach out to us. We're not going to say we're not going to rebuff you or anything. We are here to help. So know that you have tried, because some of the farmers them in the consortium have been farming before the PS was born, before the minister got involved in agriculture. These are persons who are seasoned, 30 years, 40 years. You have so much experience. And I've told this story before. When I went to school to study agriculture, and I thought, okay, I know it all, I know this, I know that. I came back, had a meeting, sat down with farmers, and you see how much you don't know. You see the disconnect. You see, wait, I thought this and that. You see it. So why would you not bring them in? We're trying to get even a committee, an agricultural authority, something. That's the most important thing we're looking for, a voice at the table. Because you cannot tell us what we know already. We know these things already. How is it that you want to prescribe something to us that we're telling you it is not going to work? So it's time to come in and we haven't had a meeting, the consortium haven't had a meeting with the government in almost over a year. From the time the so-called ceasefire came into being, we haven't had any meetings, any discussions to further anything.
The consortium reached out and tried?
For what I know, they are still trying. That's what the program is all about. We are trying to see if we can get the ear so that they can, get us back. We can go back to the table and discuss how we can get this thing done. And even this, today farmers are complaining because resources are no longer available.
Yeah, I think Mr. Cashaw called in yesterday. He was talking,
Exactly. So, and then you wonder, but wait, the 100 acres for the Tabasco is covered in mulch, have all the irrigation system, have everything in place. Are you telling me that resources have been diverted to that? Like, if I read the definition of food security again, you would see that comes nowhere. They say, when all people at all times have physical and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food. Where is the nutrition in that? We're not eating that. Right? And yet all of this is diverted there. I know this might be controversial, but cannabis. We're not eating cannabis, but yet we know resources are going to be diverted there. Money resources, human resource, all capital going to be diverted there. And then the government talking about bringing on the 100-acre farm or whatever. Again, resources are going to be diverted there. As opposed to the practitioners, those who know how to get this thing done. They're still crying out for resources. They're still crying out for market. Because imagine, imports going up, but yet peppers are getting dumped. Tomatoes are getting dumped. Right? We saw that, I think, last year before, the video with the getting dumped. So, what are we really saying? Now, if you look at leadership now, you realize that that's might be the crux of the problem. Because if you're telling me you're serious about agriculture and food security, as I said before, nothing's in the budget that say that we're going to craft this project, the 25 by 20. There's nothing in there. There may be one or two things, like the poultry project, it's in there. But that tailored to layers, right? So that's eggs. And so you realize that even before that, we were almost self-sustaining in eggs. Right? So now they're looking to produce more so you could export. Nothing wrong with that. Right? Nothing wrong with that. There's a sector for that. Yeah. What about the rest now? The slaughter, because there's a slaughter facility here. Right? So that's one. But if you look at the way in which the portfolios were distributed, agriculture, you said, is part of your 7 pillars of growth. Sustainable island state. You are going to put a rookie minister in charge of agriculture. Fine, you do that. So you're not going to surround him with those who might have known how this thing go. You're going to put a permanent secretary who was a civil, wasn't even a civil, he wasn't even appointed, but he was working for the government for less than 5 years. You're going to elevate that person working for less than 5 years to the permanent secretary position. What can happen to what kind of experience and leadership you think would ensue if you have 2 green rookie persons leading the charge? And so said so done, because those persons are not listening to anything the farmers have to say. They actually made the consortium an enemy. Yeah. Made the consortium an enemy of the state because they simply want to be a part of the conversation, a part of the discussion. Right? They got their talents into the consortium and ruffled some feathers. That's why I said, even now, a year on, nothing. And so we're trying to get back there. We're trying to show that there's still hardship out there. There's still pain out there. The farmers are not getting where they need to go. Meanwhile, things are failing. Inputs are going up. All this expenditure. The IMF said that if we continue spending money how we spend it, we're going to be in, 71% debt to GDP. So our debt going up. We're talking about hard life. High food prices. I heard y'all discussing about tariffs and those kind of things. That's a part of it. Yeah. If we're feeding ourselves, then we can reduce the overall cost of living. Because you don't have to spend as much to import. Yeah. And so that money can be diverted elsewhere, stay within the economy, flourish within the economy. Now, I can't even blame the supermarkets, because at the end of the day, it's bottom line for them. Yeah. Profit. They have to make their profit because they employ people too. And if they go out of business, persons going to lose jobs. So we can't even blame them. Yeah. But one thing we learned, or we should have known, but we saw it real prominent with Donald Trump, uncertainty. Businesses cannot work with uncertainty. The markets cannot work with uncertainty. If you don't know what's coming, you don't know how to prepare. Same thing with the supermarkets. If they don't know what produce are coming in, if they don't know if you can grow this, they're not going to trust that you're going to get them. And you know what? The shelves are empty. So this is where the government again comes into play, because you have extension officers, but they are not given the necessary resources. Something as simple as a vehicle, right? As simple as a vehicle is a problem for the agriculture department. Because here you have it. I saw that the other day, the police force got brand new CRVs, man. They're looking real crisp and nice. Brand new, must be 5. Agriculture now to feed our people.
No jacked up.
But imagine that the extension officers had travel allowance, right? But it's basically pittance. You can't really carry your own vehicle all the way up the mountain because the money they give you can't really. That became a big issue with the extension officers and the permanent secretary. And so I think last I heard, they took away the travel allowance without even giving them vehicles. So you take it away, but they have nowhere to go. So how are they going to carry out their duties? How are they going to be able to look at the market and estimate and say, okay, supermarket, we have X amount in the ground, so don't import nothing this week, we got you. How are they going to do their work? And then they're on demand. So many farmers out there and soil extension officers. So how are they going to get their job done? Could you imagine that with this whole talk about travel allowance and whatnot, the permanent secretary took away one of the vehicles out the fleet. He had his own personal vehicle, he gets travel allowance. But he took it out the fleet to be his vehicle. So you're already short-handing the already depleted vehicle fleet. Right? So these are things you have to look at if you are serious about food security, if you're serious about getting things done. You must have everything in sync. You can't just say increase production. They got to give out trays and trays of seedlings. So when all of them come to bear at the same time, what do you think going to happen? There was no plan. There was no structure. So imagine everything came on market at the same time. Market glut. Oversaturated.
Yeah.
What do you think would happen? That's why they end up throwing away stuff, because the data have shown that we produce more tomatoes than we import. But where are they going? They're not going where they need to go. And then you look at things like, the other day I was looking at the government and their three report card as they have it. Under food security, they have Greenhouse Village Project, 35 greenhouses at Burleson Estate. 35, they actually put it in, 35 greenhouses as an accomplishment. You go down there, not one greenhouse up there operating. What do you mean 35? How do you get the number? Because when we're doing it 25 by 25, calculations were made to say, okay, the average greenhouse, maybe 100 by whatever, they can produce X amount of pepper, tomatoes, whatever. So we put in the numbers, because we saw it. So it would have been a tremendous help to getting the import bill down, if you're able to do that. But when you realize that a year gone, 2 years gone, no greenhouse coming up, that is why imports are still up, because something, and they have the heart to put it in and say, like...
Well, maybe this is coming soon. I'm just being the devil's advocate.
I know that's what they're saying. Look, this is the report card looking back, 3 years looking back.
I got you.
And they put in 30, not even two, like 35 greenhouses. Like, how could you put...
What if it's federal and it's on Nevis?
Well, there's only one person nest.
I'm done now. I'm done.
And you said 35. Like, people can actually drive down and see for themselves that nothing is happening. So how could you, with conscience, put it in that that's one of your accomplishments? It's a pipe dream. It's a fever dream. It's a vaporware. Right? Because the Greenhouse Village is an initiative that people were happy to hear about. Yeah. Because that would have boosted production tremendously, just how it did for lettuce in Nevis. Yeah. Because all that greenhouse production in lettuce have made Nevis relatively self-sufficient in lettuce. Yeah. Right? It's almost fully saturated for the local market. They could afford to start exporting soon. But we're down here now, nothing is happening.
And this is why I always ask, why is it the farmers are not working federally? Because I noticed, I wasn't intertwined in all of this, but I noticed when we had a federal minister, agriculture look a little better. So why is it we can't be federal again with or without a minister? Like, the farmers work amongst themselves. We have to feed the people. Can we not exclude the ministers for now and just do what we have to do together?
But that happens on that level. Farmers reach out to each other. Cause even Troy, he would send stuff up to Nevis. People send stuff down to Nevis. Even some of those who do nursery, and they send stuff. So they kind of move away from the government thing. Because the reality is that, yes, in the previous administration, when it was federal, it looked like things were happening, right? Because it was
as I said, I was outside, so I listened to you, yeah.
Because they would have all these initiatives and it sound good, but on the ground,
nothing happening.
Because the consortium started under the previous administration because we're not happy with what was happening. Things just wasn't happening. But there was still a sense of camaraderie between things, and he was still, right? Farmers were still talking to each other. Those on the lower rung of the ladder in government, we were talking to each other. We were having fellowship. We were doing things together still. But like I said last time, they're gone, right? It's basically every man for themselves in a sense, right? Every country for themselves, right? So that still need a lot of work to be done. And so if we are serious about food security, we must understand that words have definitions and work towards what the definition speaks to. You have a mandate as the ministry, the department, you have a mandate. And so therefore you must do what needs to be done to get...
Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Hello?
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm listening, right? I have a question. Your host there just said that, they have produced tomatoes and sometimes it's, from what it sounds like, the tomatoes go to waste. Question, do they have contracts with hotels and supermarkets? I remember back in the days, it was Semaco that the locals will go and get all the produce that we needed. Is there any contracts with any supermarket? Is there a place like Semaco?
No, the closest thing to that would be the marketing unit at the agriculture department, but there are no contracts because, as I said before, uncertainty. You cannot sign a contract if you're not sure what's going to happen, right? There were talks about a contract between the supermarkets and the government. They wanted to sign a contract with the government to say, okay, you guarantee us this, whatever. But both parties, I guess, there was some timid and because they don't want to, right? So, because the supermarkets know that if you send with the farmers, ultimately government still controls so many things that the failures of the farmers can be laid at the feet of the government. Because if you control inputs, you control those, you control the sector. Because, for example, you want your pesticides, herbicides, whatever, you have to go to the government for that. Because even for some of them, you need a license to bring in certain things. The pesticide board must sign off, so you can't even up and go on your own and say you're going to do it. They have too much they have their hand too much on the scale, so they are no contracts, unfortunately. And you know what's happening. Yeah, go ahead.
But in this case, now listening to you, right, it sounds like the government have the farmers hand tied behind their back.
Yeah, for the most part.
Because everything is under the government control.
Yes.
It sounds like y'all are just, it's like a farmer slavery. Y'all just tied, your hands are
That's
tied.
why Greg normally say relinquish some things from government.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you look at land prep, government, inputs, government, even feed for birds and everything, government. Everything is government. Right? Like I said before, you speak to some of the input suppliers, the bigger supermarket, the department stores. They say, I start bringing in stuff because government competing hard with us. We can't really compete, and so therefore, the government has their hand too much in it. Right? So it's problematic.
Yeah, that sounds like they're too much in it for you. It sounds like y'all are under oppression. Have a good day, guys. Where is Quint?
Today is his mom's homegoing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
okay,
he'll be back tomorrow. Don't worry.
Oh, thank God.
All
right then.
All right, just to wrap up where I started. Words, they have meaning. Food security, there's a meaning. And so you need to live up to that definition if we are to advance ourselves further in the sector and understand that the farmers are not your enemy. We are here to help you, help us, help the country.
Yeah.
And we should work together to that end.
Yep. And with that said, we will take a short break and we'll be right back.
INN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Say, Kitts-Nevis, it's time to celebrate! We're raising our glasses and saying cheers to 20 years as your trusted telecommunications provider. And because we love our amazing customers, we're giving you the chance to win. Every week, we've got exciting prizes just for you. And that's not all. Step into a cash vault for a shot at $2,000 in cash. To qualify, switch to Digicel, activate a 3-day plan or higher. Pay your bill in full. Sign up for postpaid or a new Digicel Plus internet package. Stay connected, keep enjoying the best service, and get ready to win. 20 years strong, and we're just getting started. Visit a Digicel retail store today. Get ready to stretch your way into the ultimate festival experience. The Sickest Music Festival is calling, and so are some serious prizes. Spend $25 or more on any scratch tickets to win a season pass and a night stay at Park Hyatt, a season pass and a night stay at St. Kitts Marriott Resort, and a season pass and a White Sands ticket. That's right, spend $25 or more on any scratch tickets to win. Available at all Caribbean lottery retailers island-wide. You must be 21 and over to play.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
And we are back on Island Tea, and are we ready with... Okay, good morning, Mr. Kelly, and welcome to Island Tea.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good, good. Yourself?
I'm well. I'm here with some tea, so I'm good.
All right. So tell us about the offerings of your company. I know we just played the ad. I mentioned before the winnings. So let us know what it is we need to buy to win what you have to offer to us.
Okay, so it's music festival season. I guess we can call it that. Music festival season. You know, there's a lot. The amps are coming up. Everything is going on, and you know, what we're doing this season. You know, last year we would have had a promotion where you could have won a ticket for a night, a VIP ticket for one night, and a makeup beads and these kind of stuff, which is all good. But this year we amped it up. We amped it up quite a bit because for just for $25 on any combination of scratch tickets at any location across St. Kitts or Nevis, you automatically enter for a chance to win a season pass. That's every single night, and a stay at Park Hyatt, or a season pass and a night stay at the St. Kitts Marriott, or and a season pass and a White Sands ticket. So we're talking for $25, you can. That has nothing to do with what you're gonna win from the scratch. Okay, so that's just the first. Let me just put that out there because you can win so much money off the scratch, but just for the $25, you got opportunity to win a night stay at the Park Hyatt. I don't know if you've stayed yet. I haven't as yet, but we're giving that away for $25.
But you can't play to win, right?
Of course. Once you what it is.
No, I
when
mean you yourself, because you said you
oh,
didn't.
oh no, no,
Oh,
no.
you
I
see,
can't. And
boy,
that's the
the
first thing.
perks.
I haven't stayed. I haven't stayed.
Okay.
I
All
have
right.
yet to stay at the Park Hyatt is what I
Okay.
mean. But we're giving that away for $25. No, we can't play. You know
Okay.
what I mean? How that would look, man. You
I
know what I mean?
know.
I win the jackpot. Like, come on.
Got you, got you.
No, no, no. But and so this promotion has been going on since May 5th, and it's gonna conclude on the 14th of June. So there's about 2.5 more weeks in the promotion. So you know what I mean, we're encouraging folks to be a part of it. We're giving away quite a bit just for $25. You know, and really and truly, the promotion, of course, again, is available at all of our lottery retailers across St. Kitts and Nevis. And you know, one of the things we're going to be looking at as well is we're going to pick some random names for some random prizes and that kind of stuff out of persons who would have entered. So it's not just, you know what I mean, the prizes that's on the promotion. We're going to be making some surprise calls to some individuals. Hey, man, you participated, you've won this, that kind of thing.
Oh, nice. And just $25, and you win
Just
a,
$25.
imagine Park Hyatt, and we know a Park Hyatt night stay is not.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I feel like. Man, I
Yeah.
haven't stayed yet, but
Mm.
you know, what I mean, we're giving it away for $25, and we just want our players and you know, what I mean, the folks in our community who, you know, what I mean, whether you play our games and not, this is a promotion you can easily get into. Scratch games aren't games you necessarily need to learn how to play. You scratch and you win. It's really that simple.
Okay. So can you tell us some of the names of the scratch games that they can
Oh,
play?
certainly. You know,
Okay.
the promotion have some tickets on there, bank on it. We have VIP Cash, which is a $20 game. Fat Wallet is a recent ticket that just came out. That's a $10 ticket. Bank on it is also a recent game. Cash Money is a recent game. Of course, we have our Crazy Eights family. You know, we have a Crazy Eight scratch ticket from 20, 10, 5, 3, and 2. So that's a family game that we run, you know, and it's really, really popular, Crazy Eights, because that game is, people love it, people win on it pretty often. And so the popular game, and of course we have Carnival Cash.
Yeah,
You
I
know what I
see
mean?
that.
Full season for a lot of markets across the region, and you know what I mean. It's Carnival season coming up for Nevis just now too.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean, but those are just some. But it's any scratch in the portfolio you can purchase as long as you hit $25. The retailer will give you an entry form, and you just put your name and your number on it. Drop it in the box because we have drop boxes at all of our
I
retailers.
was just gonna ask.
Yep, we have drop boxes. So this isn't one where you have to, where we look for non-winning tickets. Nah. You just spend your money and you drop it. You drop that in the box. So just make sure when you spend your 25, folks, you ask for your entry
Just
ticket.
in case if they don't give it to you.
Yeah, just in case they don't give it to you. So
Okay.
ask for it,
Mhm.
and they'll definitely give that to you, so you can drop that in the box. But outside of our promotion, I actually want to shine some light on our jackpot games
Okay.
because right now the jackpot games are like they're just ton up, especially in St. Kitts. You know, like they're just for real. We've had Lucky Pick is one of our jackpot games. It's $3.50 to play. The game draws every day at 8 p.m. Now we've had winners on this game from the last winner we had of 2024 was December 27th. And since that, we've had a winner in January, we've had a winner in March, we've had a winner in April, we've had two in the month of May, and Cartencia. Every jackpot has been over $100,000 except the one that just hit. Like
Okay.
Saint Kitts had two in the month of May.
Winners?
Literally. Yeah,
I hope
man.
they're my cousins.
Listen, one person won 132 grand, the one won
What?
114 grand, other person won, I think it was like 107. We
Wow.
had 120 something. The person who just won last week's Friday, on the actual that person actually won that the bought that at Latest Trends on Fourth Street, opposite the compliance store on Fourth
Yeah.
Street. Yeah,
Mm.
that place in there that sell gadgets and stuff,
Gadgets,
Latest
yeah.
Trends. Correct. That the latest winner bought their ticket there. That person won $96,000. The week before, someone bought a ticket at Albies. That's in Douglas. People know the shop as Jermaine. That person won 114,000. We had somebody also won at Indo Carib. That was the one in April. You know Indo Carib, right, where pizza place used to be,
Yeah.
the island. Yeah, that person won 132. We had one at our store in January, one in Nevis. So Lucky Pick right now is jumping off. It's jumping off and saying it. So like if you've never played Lucky Pick, now is the time to play. It's just five numbers between 1 and 28. Five numbers between 1 and 28, and you can win yourself because the jackpot starts at 95,000 and it rolls. So if there's no winner, the jackpot increases and continues to increase until somebody hits it. And right now in Sync, it's that game is doing extremely well.
That's good to hear. What about Nevis? We have retailers in Nevis. Do we have winners from
We
Nevis?
have,
Because
oh yeah, man. We have 10 retailers in Nevis,
okay.
Little Cherry Tree, Tazayas. A lot of people know Tazayas. We have the gas station in Gingerland, 869 bar, I think is what they call it.
Okay.
Um, there's quite a bit of retailers that we do have in Nevis, Esme's, Arlene's. Um, but Nevis actually got the Lucky Pick jackpot in January. That
Okay.
one was in Nevis. And outside of Lucky Pick, Nevis players win a lot in Pick Four.
Yeah.
Like Nevis has a serious Pick Four base that plays Pick Four crazy, and they win a lot.
Okay.
Nevis players win a lot, and they're really good on promotions. I kid you not.
Mhm.
If the last 2 years we had a promotion where you could have won a trip to Barbados, all expense paid trip for crop over.
Mhm.
And both years, it's a division that won it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, both years it was a division that won it. We recently had a promotion on VIP Cash where you could win, I think it was $400 in vouchers, in supermarket vouchers, and it was a division that won it. So divisions do really well. They win money and they do good on promotions too. But what I mean, St. Kitts is a bigger market, so you likely will see more prizes in St. Kitts. It's a much bigger market, so than Nevis.
Oh, okay. Anything else to add?
Well, let me big up the promotion again. It's $25 on any combination of scratch for a chance to win the season passes, a night stay at Park Hyatt, a night stay at the Marriott, or a White Sands ticket. And man, don't forget to be a part of this. You have 2.5 weeks to play. Still in this promotion. Of course, you have to be 21 or over to play. You know, we got to put that out there. We don't want any issues with that. And of course, you know, for more information, man, you can follow us on thecaribbeanlottery.com, or we're on X at the Caribbean Lottery as well. And of course, Super Lotto, I want to show Super Lotto some love. We recently had a winner in Antigua who actually won the entire prize, 4.3 million.
Wow.
So, you know, and in St. Kitts, recently we had a winner that matched 5 numbers just 2 months ago. And matching 5 numbers give you a prize of $20,000. So, and that ticket costs $7. You know, that's a $7 ticket. You know, so I just want to put it up. Folks are winning money, man. I don't know when. When was the last time I came on this show? It was sometime earlier this year.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I shared with you guys, but we had a pick 4 player that won $312,000. So, you know, folks are winning crazy money, and it's just not the big numbers, guys. You know, folks win 4,000, 18,000, 10,000, 1,000, 1,500, and all of these are from small bets. These are huge, large bets. So, you know, be in it, win with the Caribbean Lottery. You know, it's all about opportunities to win.
Okay, so you got to be in it to win it. So thank you for coming and educating us on your offerings. And folks, as I said before, you have to be in it to win it. So go out in St. Kitts and Nevis, spend just $25. And as myself and Chad are saying, we never stayed at the Marriott, not the Marriott, the Park Hyatt. The Park Hyatt. And we know the cost per night. So
I will let you know when the Caribbean rate is there. I will let you know. It's very affordable. It's
very affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
and you get a little brunch with it too as well. Other incentive. Yeah.
So you heard that, Chad. He's gonna let us know when the Caribbean rate is affordable. But for now, folks, go for the fancy rate, $25, and you get a night stay. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a better deal right now.
Yeah, exactly. Feel like a king or a queen.
Yeah. That's even cheaper than the local rate.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man. So just give me an outro on the ad, man.
Alrighty. Have a good one.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, check the time. It's just about 10 minutes cruising. No, it's actually 10 a.m.
Yeah, that's why you said outro.
Yeah, and it was a pleasure, you know, sparring with you for the first time on Island Tea. And I know they miss Quint, but right now Quint dealing with some personal issue, and he will be back tomorrow and the day after that.
Yeah.
You know, that's my boy. Yeah, man. That's my boy. He opened up my eyes to a lot of things, and he take a different approach when it comes to Island Tea and how he get his information and how he deliver it. I really enjoy listening to you and him sparring in the morning. I'm just chipping in here and there now and again, you know. I'm the guy who's behind the scenes, make a lot of the things that happen. So it was a pleasure working with you today. And let me apologize for Quint, what do you call them? Fans that been asking for him online. Yeah, my apology, I did not make it, you know, alert you guys that, you know, I was filling in for him because of certain circumstances. Yeah. But you guys asked a question, so now I'm letting you know he's going to be back in the hot chair tomorrow, God's willing.
Yeah, he's going to be back. So thank you once again. Have a great Wednesday and see you tomorrow.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.